Break you idiot break, Pramodi, Herath.
Break, break, you idiot, break. Well, Madam Condesha, ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what my father told me, but it came out as more of a shouting. Let me tell you, I had just turned 18 and had just got my driving license. Now many girls go for auto driving license, but my father has a manual vehicle. So he wanted me to get manual driving license. Now, how many of you drive? And how many of you drive manual vehicles? Fellow manual paint holders, bear with me for a couple of minutes. And for our auto car drivers, let me tell you how lucky you are. As you all know, all cars have two pedals. On your right-hand corner, you have all the cool stuff, the accelerator. And on your left, the lifesaver, the brake. Now when it comes to a manual vehicle, you have another pedal, the clutch. Trust me, this can be very disastrous. But imagine yourselves in the driving seat, wearing the coolest outfit you have with a pair of shades on your head, and you are doing this and that like a character from Fast and Furious, and all the handsome boys are looking at you, and then there's your father next to you, tightly holding on to life and onto the handbrake. Now there's one thing I have come to realize in my short period of life. If there's anything a father would trust when it comes to his daughter is driving, that's this, the handbrake. They hold it so tight, keeping one eye on the road and the other on the handbrake, ready to close both eyes any minute and pull it with utmost force. And then your father will treat you with the most loving words in the world. You donkey, where do you think you are going? Go straight, you cow. Are you going to get both of us killed? Whoa, so much of affection. After going through all this pain, the day after I got my driving license, we decided to go on a ride to celebrate. So my father asked me to get the car out of the garage. Now getting the car out of the garage used to look like a total nightmare when I saw my father doing it, because the garage is a pit. So in order to get the car out of the garage, you first have to slowly reverse straight back up on a hill, take a short up left, and then you are good to go. But now that I'm having my face on a plastic card, that was a piece of cake. So I got into the vehicle. But I did not wait for my father to come. I had everything in my mind. I could write a book on that. How to drive manual vehicles by Pramodi, Herath. Hands brake down, gear neutral, ignite the engine, pedal the clutch, put into the reverse gear, release the clutch, and I accelerated. And that was the end of my driving chapter. The car bounced backward towards a coconut tree, and out of nowhere I heard my father's angelic voice screaming, "Brake, brake, you idiot! Brake! Not the accelerator, brake!" I got my senses recovered when the car hit a coconut tree. Having able to somehow stop the vehicle, I heaved a sigh of relief when the coconut fell on the windscreen, leaving a huge crack on the glass. And I could see hundreds of little versions of my father reaching towards the vehicle through the broken glass pieces. Now you know how cars matter to our fathers, right? So I got out of the vehicle and I ran to my room. And I made sure that I avoided my father for the next couple of weeks. And I determined that I am not going to touch the steering wheel ever again in my life. 2 weeks later, my father came to the university to pick me up. While he was driving on our way back home, he suddenly pulled over and unfastening the seatbelt, he looked at me and said, "Come take over." Now for a moment, let's forget the fact that I was determined not to drive ever again in my life. But my father, I was quite certain that he was determined not to let me drive again, having yelled at me 2 weeks ago. I mean, isn't that so brave of him to let me drive again his car, having seen my competencies lately? For a moment, I did not know what to say. My father looked at me, smiled and said, "What? Tati, I can't." "Why, baby? Are you still thinking about what happened that day? Come on, no one nails it in one shot. And what fun would life be without some pits and falls? Look, you got to learn your lessons and you got to love your scars. You gotta love your scars." So I drew again. And I made sure that I give my father's vehicle a lot of scars. But I also realized sometimes to learn how to do things right, you first have to do those wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, in your life, in my life, we get things wrong time to time. We slam brake when speed is what we want. We speed up when a brake is what we want. We turn left when we want to go right, and that's okay. The more we make mistakes, the more we learn. So learn from your mistakes and keep driving. And the scars. Trust me, you gotta love your scars. But make sure that you are fully insured. Over to you, Contest Share.